This is our presentation on OER Commons for SI 622, Needs Assessment and Usability Evaluation. We had an all-star team researching the OER Commons system this semester. Let's begin. This is Adam. Adam has taught finance at a small liberal arts college for more than 30 years, and he also works as a board member of the American Finance Association. Like many experienced professors, he really likes to explore new technologies and is eager to learn them. Adam is also a big contributor to online teaching platforms like Coursera, edX, and Khan Academy. Because of his strong reputation in finance and online teaching platforms, he has many followers who want to use his materials to better their understanding. Adam tried using several different online platforms for sharing, but he couldn't find one that provided the flexibility he needs. Julia has taught science at a local middle school for 3 years. She really loves her job, but it's difficult for her to prepare new course materials every week. Julia teaches 3 different subjects in a school district that can't afford textbooks, and there are a lot of educational standards she needs to follow. Julia often feels overwhelmed and appreciates seeing others' materials for understanding different approaches and giving her ideas and materials that she can modify to use in her class. Unfortunately, searching for proper materials on the web is also a demanding task. Adam and Julia both want a platform for sharing educational resources more easily. That's where OER Commons comes in, to solve both K-12 teachers and university professors' problems by allowing educators to create, modify, and search for open educational resources. In this video, we will talk about the needs assessments and usability tests we performed on the 3 authoring tools that OER Commons is currently piloting: OpenAuthor, Lesson Builder, and Module Builder. The purpose of this study is to develop an understanding of how educators use different tools and features. So how did we approach the problem? Our process included a variety of research methods, including an interaction map, interview, persona and scenario, competitive analysis, survey, heuristic evaluation, and usability test. To understand how the authoring tools work within the OER Commons site, we mapped out the key interactions of each tool to allow us to see the big picture of the system, including both consistencies and breakdowns. We then interviewed 9 potential or current users of OER Commons and collected information on 4 big topics. The interviewees included K-12 educators and university professors from across the US, each with different teaching experience. Through these interviews, we identified common themes that we then used to construct 4 distinct personas. These included the innovator, the skeptic, the overburdened instructor, and the old school professor in need of tech support. These personas allowed us to better understand both the educational space and the characteristics of OER Commons' target population. Open educational resources are gaining popularity, and as a result, there are many other platforms in the current market with OER Commons. We identified 13 major competitors and categorized them into direct, indirect, parallel, partial, and analogous competitors. Then, we came up with 5 units for comparison, including general system features, content creation, target audience, quality control, and usability. We included sub-items in each unit to compare those platforms with OER Commons in detail to be sure our analysis was comprehensive. We then conducted a survey to learn more about teaching behaviors from a larger number of target users. First, we identified overarching problems we wanted to solve with the survey, and then we carefully developed and tested the questionnaire. We used Qualtrics as our survey platform and distributed it online. Having our survey link retweeted by Open Education Week helped our outreach efforts, and we were able to generate 61 responses within a few days. The results show that people are frustrated with content creation tools for various reasons, primarily compatibility. Additionally, many users still prefer in-person collaboration. Most people use other teachers' materials, but most people aren't aware of OER Commons, and about half of the current users are not quite satisfied with their experience. We used the needs we identified during the survey to probe into detailed interactions with the authoring tools in OER Commons. We conducted the evaluation by applying Nielsen's 10 heuristics within our group. Each member evaluated the platforms individually before discussing as a group and agreeing on the key findings. After that, we successfully recruited 5 users to closely examine the authoring tools. Our interviewees had diverse teaching experience and a range of technical proficiencies, and we recorded their interactions with the system using a software called Camtasia. Throughout the process, we encountered many interesting issues that generated valuable insights. Over the course of this project, we've proposed many findings and recommendations. We have distilled these down to just a few key takeaways. The first key finding is that there is inconsistency across the different authoring tools in terms of layout and iconography. As you can see here, the same functions in different tools are displayed in different positions. Also, different authoring tools' text editors are using different sets of icons. The inconsistency between the layout and iconography of each tool could be problematic for users, as they will become accustomed to using one system first and then face a learning curve when they attempt to use the other. For this problem, we proposed to make interfaces and iconography consistent to increase usability and reduce the learning curve for users that want to switch between tools. For example, OER Commons could apply the site's navigation bar to all authoring tools, or adopt a unified set of icons for all authoring tools. Second, usability and user flow make interactions difficult. We found multiple usability problems along the way, but the most significant was error prevention, which we identified in both the heuristic evaluation and usability testing. During these processes, we noticed that evaluators and users had difficulty identifying and correcting errors because the error messages were not clear enough to be helpful. In the Open Author tool, on clicking Submit, if there are errors with required text boxes, users are redirected to the first step, no matter which step the errors are located in. Also, the error message indicated here is unclear and only stays for 5 seconds. The problem makes it hard for users to identify errors and thus hard to publish the materials to complete the user flow. We propose giving users real-time feedback on text boxes to prevent errors before submission. If errors occur after clicking Submit, make sure all links direct users to the appropriate help page. Also, it would be helpful to display the transitional error messages for longer and include error messages that clearly inform users of what they need to fix. Throughout this process, we found that the OER Commons system does not reflect the typical workflow of professors who, as a result, were unsure whether OER Commons was intended for their use. Professors were confused by the wording on the site and weren't sure which terms applied to them. The Educational Standards menu was one place that made professors question their belonging since these standards are not applicable to their courses. Similarly, in the Education level dropdown, they weren't sure which option to select and often incorrectly chose Technical for technical courses. One of the issues was related to the words used to describe the tools. Professors had a negative reaction to the word module, noting that they think in terms of a syllabus, not a series of lessons. The wording made a huge difference in their perception of the system and caused the majority of usability test subjects to comment that it seemed to be meant only for K-12 teachers. During usability tests, our interviewees struggled with the module builder's text fields and were unsure what to put in each place. One user filled out the form using his personal information as though it were a profile, while another simply gave up. Professors are excited to share teaching materials, but it needs to be easy. If they were unable to collaborate in person, interviewees preferred to send files using Google Drive, a one-step process that allows them to drop all different types of media into one easily shareable folder. Interviewees felt like there were too many steps in the OER Commons authoring process and didn't appreciate feeling like they had to start from scratch to get everything in the right place. Users expressed a desire for OER Commons authoring tools to be more compatible with the tools and software that they already use. To solve these issues, we recommend 2 things. First, OER Commons could modify the language used on the site to better reflect professors' preferred terms. Module might be replaced by course or syllabus, and terms in the homepage drop-down menus could be clarified to avoid confusion. OER Commons might also consider creating an onboarding process that allows users to self-identify as a K-12 teacher or a professor when they arrive, making it clear from the outset that OER Commons is the tool for them. Though our study generated useful findings, we did have a few limitations. For starters, we had limited access to the target audiences, leading to a lopsided distribution among respondents. Only 3 out of 9 interviewees were K-12 teachers, but we made up for it in the survey where over 91% of respondents were K-12 teachers. In our survey, we would have liked to reach more current users of OER Commons. Unfortunately, only 11 respondents out of 62 were current users. We did achieve balanced distribution in usability testing, but the total number of respondents was small. In conclusion, we have a couple of things that OER Commons might consider for further studies. First, we believe OER Commons could benefit from continuing to think about whether to combine the 3 authoring tools into one master tool. In addition, we think it's important to continue exploring ways to replicate or facilitate in-person sharing, since this is a key area that could set OER Commons apart from other services. We would like to thank the OER Commons team for partnering with us and being so responsive and helpful throughout the semester. And, of course, thank you to the 622 instructional team and our amazing classmates for their guidance and feedback throughout this process.